Dundu is a labor of love that I've been at for several years now alongside the team of people. It's taken me a while to get here, so I can't wait to share this with everybody and see you when we open. Of habaneros and so proud of my heritage, diverse as its people, its tribes, its cultures. I'm very proud of my heritage and my upbringing and my culture and the things that I eat and the things my grandmother ate, my mother ate, my father's mother ate. I believe very much in the foods that I grew up eating. I think our jollof rice, our peppered grilled chicken, our moi moi, and all of that good stuff. I believe we ought to share that with the world. Dundu is delicious, it's authentic, it's genuinely African, but it's not afraid to be modern. It's an homage to my heritage as a Nigerian. I think Dundu is me telling my own story of Africa through food. That's what Dundu is. There's no reason why all of our food on the African continent, particularly Nigerian food, shouldn't travel and have the awareness and recognitions that several cuisines in the West here have. Dundu is a labor of love.
Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Hi, if you're just joining, my name is Adiola Fayeon, and today I am interviewing the founder of Dundu Restaurant in New York City, Folusha Salami. Welcome to my
Thank you,
show.
Diola, for having me. I'm so honored. Thank you.
You look good, and this your t-shirt. How can you get it for us? You are representing now. You see, I kept playing that your video about how Nigerian food. There's nothing wrong in Nigerian food being everywhere, just like we have foods from other cultures, from other nationalities, everywhere as
Absolutely.
well. So my sister is on a quest to put Nigerian food on the map of where they find all this other food from fancy, all these other fancy food from other countries. There
Yes.
should also be Nigerian food. Like, McDonald's is everywhere. Why can't we have do
Jollof rice everywhere.
jollof rice everywhere? Oh, you get the memo. So thank you so much for joining me today. Real quick, for those who do not know who you are, just tell them a little bit about your story, and then we'll get into our question and answers. Today's title is all about turning your passion into profit,
Okay.
because
First
that's
of
what
all, thank you for having me. I'm so honored and to be
yeah.
included amongst the great lineup of people that you have here today. Thank you so much. So, my name is Folusha Salami. I am the founder of Dundu. Dundu is a fast casual restaurant in Midtown Manhattan. We serve a limited menu of salads, proteins, grains, and sides. We offer delicious, authentic Nigerian food in a way that is very relatable. Dundu started after I graduated from the Culinary Institute of America shortly afterwards. I'm passionate about this, but beyond passion, I'm also being very deliberate about it. I grew up in Ilorin. I'm the child of a professor and a high school teacher turned educator who worked in the department Ministry of Education back home in Ilorin. I'm the youngest of six siblings. I'm a mother. I'm a wife, and I run Dundu in a nutshell.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
We have a lot in common. We'll talk after the service. Um, First of all, for those who you refuse to mention the fact that you used to be an attorney,
ah,
you went to law
okay. So
school,
I used to be an
studied
attorney
law.
at some point in my life. It's
Okay,
important that I mention that. I switched careers before I moved here to. Adiola, can you help me? I can't see you. I'm seeing myself.
it's okay. People are
Okay.
seeing you. You are seeing what people are seeing. It's
All
okay
right.
for them
No
to see
worries.
you. You are
Very
the
happy to
guest,
yourself.
my guest of honor. We want to see you.
Okay, so I began my career as an oil and gas attorney. I worked with Shell Oil, and after a while, I quit that role. I wasn't there for too long, actually. I've always wanted to own my own business. I enjoy cooking. The business end of things also intrigues me a lot. And when the time was right, which I'll delve into a little later, I quit my job. I packed up my bags. I enrolled in culinary school, the Culinary Institute of America here in New York in Hyde Park. And that was the beginning of my journey as an immigrant here in America.
Wow, thank you so much. And I'm so happy that you talked about that because for you, yes, you went to school, yes, you studied law and you had a really good job, a lucrative job that some people could only dream of. I mean, Shell is a very they pay well. But for you, cooking and especially Nigerian food has always been a passion. Right from the time you were young and your neighbor introduced you to Dundu, right?
Yes, my
So
name
if your neighbor Ife,
Ife Oluwafemi. I hear she's
is
in the UK
responsible.
somewhere.
Ife is responsible for where we are today because Ife told us about that Mama Put
By
place where
the
we can
roadside.
find Dundu. For those who may not speak Yoruba, what is Dundu?
So dundu is fried yams. It's made from not what we call yams here in the States. Those are sweet potatoes, but actual tubers. Some of them weigh between
Nigerians, they
about
know
2 pounds to 11 pounds. Yes. And it's called ishu in Yoruba. So dundu is when you peel those and you fry them and cut them up. So the first time I experienced it was not in our home. It was by the roadside, like Adiola mentioned, a neighbor who lived across the street. I went to theirs and she was, munching on something. It was in, old newspapers. And she kept munching on it. And I said, Ife, I said to her, Yoruba kiniye, which means, what's that? And she said, oh, it's dundu. I said, what's dundu? She goes, it's fried yam. There's a lady, if we walk to the main road, she's frying and selling that. So I said, oh, I have 1 naira. So she goes, each one is 10 kobo, which was a long time ago. So we walked all the way to the road. I think I was about 7 at this time. Never mind that I did not have permission. So we went there. There was this woman frying the yams. She had this bright red colored sauce, which I learned was atadini. So she would fry the yams, scoop it up with a huge frying spider, and then she'll put a little newspaper and scoop some of that bright red sauce on it. And
Mhm.
when I tasted it, it was delicious. I mean,
For real,
it was. It was
Dundu
very good. So that
fried
was the
yam
first experience. Fried yam. We
is
did it
actually one of my best.
Yeah.
So anytime I visit your restaurant, I must to eat dundu. But the reason why we're talking to you today is because even though this has been a passion of yours since you were 7, um, eventually it became a reality for you to own your own dundu restaurant, and it's still your dream to own a chain of dundu restaurants
Yes.
across the world, which we are praying that it will come to pass because you are representing us Nigerians in a positive light, and we really appreciate that. So but tell us how you were able to it's a very broad question, turning your passion into when you first of all decided that you wanted to do this, what was the reaction of how were you sure first of all that this is what you should do? What was the reaction of people around you? You said in one of your videos that you were being taunted that with a law degree, Ofemalo Diakara, you want to go and be frying akara.
Dodo and akara.
And dodo, yes, you want to start frying dodo and akara after going through law school, getting a job with Shell. How was that like, and how were you able to stick to your dream of doing this?
Okay, so to take us back a bit, at 7, I didn't know I wanted to be in food, to be candid. That was just my first experience with fried yams. As a child, I wanted to be an attorney. So I went to law school, went to college, did the whole haul, and I became an attorney. And I'm not one of those who didn't enjoy it. I actually liked it very much. It's just that I happen to like what I'm doing now a lot more. So, how did I quit? I think that the business end of things intrigues me a lot. And I recognize, I've always admired other businesses. When I was dating my husband, when we were dating then, what I wanted and what my interest lied was to read business biographies. So I would read the story of McDonald's, Starbucks, Wendy, Chick-fil-A. You just think about it. I've read all those business biographies. And that further ignited my passion that I really can do this. And I enjoy food. I like cooking. And I thought to myself, why can't I do with jollof rice what they've done with fries and with McDonald's? And I think that was where it started. So the first thing I did was to, after reading a number of books, I started finding out where can I get the proper education that I need to be able to do this. And education doesn't always have to be, you going to formal school. No, it might be research, it might be online education for you. It varies with different individuals. So once I realized I was clear, I could get a degree in this, learn how to manage a restaurant and also get formal culinary training. I found the right school and I enrolled. For me, I was able to do that because I'd worked for a bit. I had some savings, and I had the support of my spouse and of my family. And that was how I made the decision. I think if you're someone who you're considering, should I be switching from my main job to focus on my side hustle full time, there are a couple of things you should do. You want to make sure that you have the required knowledge. That would not There's nothing you can actually do without taking the time to study, to educate yourself, and get the required knowledge to be successful. You also have to be practical. You have to be practical in the sense that, how are you going to meet your needs? How are you going to meet, if you're a parent or if you have people who are dependent on you, or you have responsibilities? You have to consider all of that. More importantly, is your business showing traction? So let's say you have this side hustle and there are people already who you have repeat customers, they're coming back to you, they're asking for extended services. Say you design websites and you design great websites. Now your customers are coming back to you for site optimization. They're coming back to you to increase, help them with search engine optimization, help them with more tech related things. Definitely your business is showing traction. You're saying that there's an opportunity for you to do more in that area. So, and of course, you also want to know what the KPIs of your business are. Like, what are the major things, the major key performance indicators that can tell you, oh, there's an opportunity here. So for Dundu, after I left culinary school, I got a job in fine dining. And I did that a while. So we started Dundu out of commercial kitchens. Commercial kitchens are this shared space where you would pay for a couple of hours to use it. We would do all of our cooking there. We would put everything in Cambros and then in Ubers. This was a long time ago. We would move it to various pop-up markets or to a catering event and so on and so forth. So we really started small with what it is that we had. So figure out, is there an opportunity here? What is the minimum viable product you can start with? Like, where can you start from? Put that out there. Do the very best you can with it. And once you see traction, once there's an opportunity, you see there's an opportunity in the market for it, then everybody's situation is different. You learn the more traction you get, then you learn when it's time to switch.
So in other words, you didn't just quit your job. You started gradually. Also, when you quit your job, you actually went to culinary school.
I did.
Yeah,
I started gradually. Let me actually be clear on this. Before I left Nigeria at all, I had something I called Sisi Put. Sisi Put. So Sisi Put
like
at that time.
Mama Put.
Yes, like Mama Put, exactly. And I had a full-time job at that time. But on Fridays, I would go to the market alongside with a woman who helped me. We would buy the ingredients. I would cook. I would pack them in bowls, and I made these stickers of a girl holding a spoon called Sisi Put. And I would make a foriro and stews. And I would spend my Saturdays and Sundays delivering these stews and soups to people. That was where the idea to even go to culinary school came from. And my colleagues would tease me then and say, Felucia's kitchen, but I did that and I figured out I can take this beyond here. And that was it. So, and I went to culinary school.
You decided you can do this even beyond the shores of Nigeria. But I think the first lesson for me in your story is the fact that even though you had a law degree and you've been a professional practicing for some years, you went back to school for what you are passionate about. You didn't just quit and move into this business. You wanted to do it right. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. You have to study. You have to study to show yourself approved. I believe that's what the word says. You have to commit to excellence. It's important to pray. God will order your steps. I'm a person of faith as well. But committing to excellence and discipline and learning your craft and developing your skills. Prayer will never take the place of that. You have to be disciplined, you have to be consistent, and you really have to learn. Be teachable. It doesn't matter where you're coming from, there's always room to learn. That has helped me a lot as a person.
And for those who may not be here when I played her video earlier, I just wanted you to see the picture of when she finished culinary school. That's her. And I think this was your graduation day.
Yes, it was.
And this is also you. I'm showing this so that they know you had a little baby at the
Oh,
time.
yes. I have a little
We
daughter.
need to help you.
Yeah. And she's much older now, but true story. After I quit my job and I moved to the States, a week before I started culinary school, I realized I was pregnant. But I'd enrolled. I'd left. I had enrolled, so I had to keep going. And I wasn't showing. So I went ahead and I did the program for as far as I could before I had to pop. Then I took.
And you told me there was one class that started at 3 something a.m.
Yes, so we there's a block called breakfast, and I happened to be in the AM slot, which meant that at that time you would get up at 3 a.m. You would get up at 3 a.m. You would prepare for those coming in to eat at 7 a.m. and also have your, so the way the Culinary Institute of America works, you have your core academic program like you would in regular college, and then at that time in the associates program, which I was in, you had 1,000 kitchen hours. So we would do that. I would do that, when I was in that block. It lasted all of 3 weeks. It wasn't throughout the program, but those were some of the things I just had to roll with.
Okay, that in itself shows dedication. That so first of all, it's not enough to have an idea or to have passion for a business. The discipline is what actually makes it work. And
Yes.
that's what I wanted to talk about next. Some of the disciplines that you had to cultivate for you to be where you are today, and how long it took, because I'm pretty sure, I mean, now your daughter is how old?
She's going to be 13 in October.
The same one that we saw in
The
that.
same one in the picture, because couldn't put her down that graduation day. So I don't have a personal picture. I carried her everywhere.
So this journey has been on for years, literally.
Oh, yeah.
Because sometimes when people see people doing well, they're like, "Oh, when did he or she, they started yesterday or
Overnight.
something." Sometimes they have no idea that this person has been at it for a long time. So what were some of the disciplines that you had to cultivate? I'm gonna start letting people in soon so that they can ask you their own questions. But what were some of the disciplines that you had to cultivate for you to be where you are today?
Okay. So I think that you started with passion. So I'll take it in two bits, right? It's important to be passionate about what you want to do. I'm very passionate about food and Nigerian food, but beyond passion, you need discipline. Because if passion is all you have, when the going gets tough, you're not going to be able to hang in there. So some of the things that has worked for me very well is being disciplined and being persistent. I am a persistent person. In fact, my middle name should be persistence. The ability to stay with something and to focus, learn your skill, focus on this one thing. There'll be challenges. There'll be, you may want, don't get distracted. If there's something you're sure is a good idea, you may have to tweak it, you may have to improve it, or turn it around a bit, fiddle with it a bit. Or you have to be focused, you have to be persistent, you have to be disciplined, you have to be disciplined with your savings. So for example, Dundu started with savings. You have to be able to set some money aside from your business or from your personal finances to be able to start whatever your passion or this side hustle that you want to translate into a business is. You have to be disciplined with your numbers. You have to keep records, detailed financial records. You also want to learn. I can't emphasize enough. And also observing people who have done this before. I'll speak a bit more about mentors and having role models. But one of the things that really worked for me as an individual, I'm an avid reader, a bit of a nerd, to be honest. I read a lot of books. I enjoy reading. So find role models. They don't exactly, I know many people also want mentors. In my mind, the way I think about it, mentors are people you're able to talk to one on one. They understand your specific situation and You can call them, they can give you feedback. I have a couple of those in my life, people like Lauren Bailey or Alice Elliott or Leo Kramer, who I'm very thankful for. But some of the people you learn the most of from are role models. They may not know you. They've written a book, you've read their story, their YouTube videos of them. Watch it, learn from it, then take the information learned and apply it to your own specific situation. No two situations are alike, but there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of knowledge. Be open. Nobody knows it all. So take the information from those role models. Read every book you can. Listen to, watch the right videos. Learn about your industry, for example. That's something else I have to do. What are the regulations that manage or govern your industry? What are the licenses you would need in the specific market or area that you are? Study, discipline yourself, commit to it. In some ways, it's like birthing a child. My husband's big joke is that we have 3 children, and we actually have two. But he says, "Oh, having Dundu is like having a third child." And when he was have to, and that now we're stuck with 3 children, and the third one is not even human. But the truth of the matter is, that's what it takes from you. So being able to just focus, what do I want to do? Get knowledge, get information, improve yourself, study those who have done similar. You don't have to copy them, no. It's your own journey, but you can learn from their experiences. You can learn from the steps they've taken. Don't make the same mistakes they've made. Believe me, you make yours. So you're better off learning from the mistakes of others and helping yourself to improve in that way. I think those are some of the key things that has helped me as a person, and I really do value relationships. Everything you need to learn, there's a human somewhere who has knowledge of it, who has experienced it, or who can give you the right information. So value relationships.
Well, thank you so much. I'm not sure who's watching today, but if you have passion for something, maybe you have a full-time job and you're thinking about starting a side hustle or a business. Maybe there's something that you're really passionate about. It doesn't mean you don't like your job, but you prefer doing that. Just like she said, she enjoyed being an attorney, but she had more passion for Nigerian food, to be specific, not just food. Or maybe you don't like what you do and you would rather be doing something else. I'm hoping that this could be of help to you. From the things you talked about in terms of the disciplines that you have to cultivate, you mentioned saving money. This is one of the things that we have tried to hammer a lot on this show. And sometimes people would say things like, well, I'm not even making enough. How can you tell me to save from what I'm making? But based on what you said, if you really want it becomes a priority. The last guest we had said you should treat your savings like a bill.
Yes,
You know how
you have to pay yourself.
how somehow you always meet your bills. So when it comes to saving money as well, you have to meet that as well, especially if you want to start your own business. So I've gotten a number of comments from some people. The first one is from Lake Allison, who just moved out of New York, and he's upset because he would have loved to visit Tundu, but he said next time
You hope you
that
come back.
he's in New York. And this one is from Elliot. Oh no, I'm in Connecticut. I come to the city a lot. Please, can you send me your restaurant address? So that's why I've been putting it on the screen. I don't get to eat Nigerian food that much. I left Nigeria 47 years ago. So now he knows your store, your restaurant, I mean, is actually a 2 minute walk from the Chrysler building, right?
Yes, yes. We're close to Grand Central. You can't miss it.
Grand Central, close
Yeah,
to the Nigerian embassy as well. So
yeah.
yes,
Minutes from there.
if anybody's going to the Nigerian embassy to renew their passport or something, hey, you have a place to eat. Falasha Defari is taking notes literally. She talked about discipline, diligence required. And Adebayo Ojo Chito says, kindly add Dodo to it. It's a good combination, but you already do, right?
We have Dodo. We have Dodo.
You already have to do. This is a question from David Adekoya. Could you ask what part her husband played in this story and how did she manage the transition from law to school and to her business. And then I'm going to post the link after she answers this question. I'll post the link for people to join us in the studio so that they can ask you questions directly. But maybe you can start with this one from David.
Okay. My husband's name is Tosin. We've been married a long while now. I think that I'm fortunate to be married to my friend, first of all, so that makes a huge difference for me. Tosin was very supportive. He's always been very supportive of me. I think what helped us the most, though, in us switching careers is communication. We talked about everything. If you have a spouse or a partner and you're switching careers, it's important it's very helpful, let me say, for you to have the support of that individual because, for example, when he married me, I was an attorney, working in an oil company. Now I sell rice and dodo. so, sometimes it requires both discipline and the support of the person you're with. It may mean tightening your belt and making some sacrifices so that you guys can achieve that dream. It's also important to communicate to your partner what kind of help you need, which I've been able to. We talk about everything, so that has been very helpful for me. I'm also a mother, so having a partner who is willing to pitch in. My husband is in totally another line of work, but us being able to support each other because there are times when I can't be there for my girls like I used to be, and he's the one who picks up the slack. And there are times because of what he does, he's not able to be there. So being able to support each other in that way is very, very important. And sometimes even just the emotional support, because you will get in difficult times. And it doesn't have to be a spouse, it could be a sister, a brother, a family member who's truly rooting for you. And when the times are rough, can say to you, just hang in there. At your life, I may share a personal example. So shortly before the pandemic, we had started looking for a space for Dundu and had searched for many months alongside my realtor. And we found the space. We had gotten into negotiations with the landlord for it. I hired an attorney. We'd spent over $5,000 in negotiating attorney fees. And we had redlined the document. Basically, what that means is we were ready to just fine tune, final reading, everybody sign, give us keys so we can start selling jollof rice after we renovate the space. To cut a long story short, about a week to the final signing, the landlord opts out of the deal. Cold turkey, no reason, no explanation. My spirit was broken. Eh? We had been on this process for 3 months, and the landlord just opted out like that. No reason, no explanation, like I said. As you would expect, I was highly disappointed and I was pained. At that time, I already had a few, partners in the business. What was I going to go back and tell them that we didn't have the space, that we had not searched for anything since November? But I remember I'm a person of faith and it was divine because about 3 weeks after that, COVID 19 hit and they shut everywhere down. But
Hmm.
before COVID hit, I was devastated. I would cry. my eyes would my eyes would be big. And I remember my husband would say to me, look at me. Only two things can happen here. They are either going to give you this space back or you are going to get a better place at a better price. Ọlọ́run ò ṣọ̀bàkà, which literally translates that God is not a wicked God. You've been so diligent. Just stay the course. And I'm telling you, that's exactly what happened. After the pandemic, we found a better place in a better location, a better building at a better price. So sometimes, if you're going through challenges, just having that person who sticks with you and supports you and understands what you are going through, and not all support is about money, you know,
Marry your best friend
I'm your friend.
or marry your very close friend and stay friends. Who said that?
Me.
You did. You did.
Yeah, yeah.
But it
Different.
it actually matters
It
because
does.
I don't know why that person asked the question, but who you're
Yeah, it
married
does.
to can either make or mar you.
It
Like
can, it
some
can, it
there
can.
are
But
people
even
who
if you don't have it, it doesn't mean you can't go on this journey. even if you don't have that kind of
You
support.
do need.
You do need it though, if you have it. But sometimes we have to, if you're in a situation where you don't have that, that shouldn't stop you. You may find your support or encouragement from a parent, a sibling, a dear friend, and building your own support community. I happen to live away from most of my siblings and my husband's sibling as well. And we've built our own family of friends around us here. So be deliberate in your relationships, and God always comes through for you.
Honestly,
Yeah.
kudos to you, kudos to your husband, because you've been able to work together to do what you're doing today. Um, there's something that you mentioned that I want us to go into real quick, and then I'm posting the link as the way I'm posting comments on the screen.
Okay.
But just so you know, Fire Kemi Bam says that she's learning a lot, and this is really timely for her because she just started something like that.
High
So
five, Kenny.
literally, she wants to thank you, not not me. Um, Also, Amos says that this has been very inspiring and insightful. That learning that a business is like a child and it
Yes.
requires full attention to. And I really like this comment by the Venerable Ferrum Yojo, who says prayer cannot replace excellence and discipline, which is what you had mentioned. Um, and then this person, David Adekoya, says a supportive partner is like healing to your body. When you marry the right person, they want you to thrive. They want you to be the best that you can be. They are not in competition with you. You are not in
Mm.
competition with them. You
And
see,
you both win. Why be in competition? Why are you together? You both win. If one of
you see
you wins,
yourselves as a
yeah.
team. Yeah,
Yeah.
you see yourselves as a team, and you work together. But real quick, for somehow you have been able to turn frying dodo, frying akara, frying dundu into not just a business, but you even have partners, you have investors. Some people would not think about, will I be able to find investors for flying dodo? A lot of people, when they think about
We cook more than dodo, Diola. We sell salads and jollof rice.
your selling point, Auntie Folusho Dundu, your selling point is Dundu, and you found investors for Dundu in America. That is a thing to be proud of.
Thank
Some
you, my
people don't
sister.
even, some people believe it's only if you're starting like a tech company that you should look for partners or investors. Do you mind talking a little bit about that in a situation where money is tight and you know that this thing has huge potential and it could be successful? We can have chain of restaurants. How did you navigate that? And if there's someone that is taking notes today who has an idea, um, like this person, Cynthia, says, my life story at this particular moment, almost signed a space deal, and boom, everything went sour. Really trusting God to come through for me at this moment. But this person has a business idea. Are you telling me, first of all, that there is no business idea that we couldn't find funding for? And how exactly do you find funding and partners and investors?
Okay. So before I'll take the funding question, but let me just say something. Before you start seeking funding, there are one or two things that you must have in place for your business. You must understand how your business is going to make money. I mentioned earlier about know your KPIs. What are the essential things? For me in food, for example, what's my food cost? What's my rent cost going to be? What are your prime costs? What are the expenses? And what are the things, cash flow? What are the things that will drive this business to success? Number two, before you think about investors, please put systems in place. Put systems in place. I can't emphasize it enough. Systems is what will cause any business to succeed. Brands that we admire, like Coca-Cola or Nike, is because they put systems in place so they can produce good products consistently. So even as a small business, we don't do very much. It's a small business. We won't always be a small business, but we put in place systems. All of our recipes are standardized. There is a system for picking phone calls at Dundu. You don't pick up and say, you know, systemize things. What happens when we receive goat leg at Dundu to process? There's a butcher space and there's a protocol for breaking down goat leg at Dundu. You must remove the meat on the bone first. You must separate the extra fat. You must weigh the waste. You must weigh this. You must write the output. You must complete the inventory sheet. Don't just fly by the seat of your pants. Document your recipes. Our recipes are detailed to the point of this is how you peel the plantain. This is how you half it. This is how you break it into bits and pieces.
This is how she peels a plantain. Oh, she
So,
has a map. I hope you guys can see it.
yeah, this is actually one of the prep cards from Dundu. You see how detailed this is. It tells you what tools you need. It tells you what to gather, how to cook, how to refrigerate. There's another card that shows you how to even fry the actual plantain at what temperature. So create systems. You can't commit to excellence enough. When I was testing recipes for Dundu, I mean, I've been frying akara for years, since secondary school. But I never knew what the temperature for frying akara was. I was doing it the way I was taught. You drop a little piece, you figure it out. But if you want to, you want to standardize it and you want anybody to be able to fry the akara, guess what? I had to figure out the temperature. So for one weekend in my house here, Tosi and our daughters, they ate shege in akara. I kept frying at different temperatures till I perfected it, and it was something that we could start and finish for guests in like a 5 minute window. So you have to do things like that. Don't
So
think some
why
people call
why
it
do you
an
do that? Why are you so detail oriented? So that every customer tastes the same thing,
so
or
consistency. Our food is
I'm
not
sorry,
just
but we don't
delicious.
always
It,
do
it
that.
must be consistent. It must be the same way. So I don't drink soda, but I used to as a child. But what I do know about soda is it tastes the same every single time people pop it open. That's the promise of consistency. That's what makes for good brand. So even though we're still very much a small business, I don't think short term. I play the long game. I'm not thinking about a quick fix for now. Where is it that we want to go? So we're acting like where we want to go while we're on our way there. Even before we get there, start acting like it now.
So, no offense, but we don't always do that at Nigerian restaurants. I mean, when I visit Nigerian restaurants, this is new for me. You are saying what the last customer ate is exactly what the next customer will get.
That's the only way to replicate it if you want to grow. And
Wow.
the systems are not perfect yet, but being able to follow it. So the way we make the chicken stock that goes into our jollof rice, we make it in batches. We do 20 pounds of bones per time. So the jollof rice can be consistent. You shouldn't come on Monday and it's cooked the way Jalil wants. That's one of the guys on my team. And you come on Wednesday and it's cooked by Dewey. Or you come on Friday and it's cooked by me, FS, and it tastes different. Why should you come back next week?
So, with or without you there, we're getting the same quality of.
Yes, that's the idea. I'm there often, I'm there all the time, but the idea is for me to be able to put in systems and have people follow those systems. It's people that will execute it.
My
If you
sister.
don't have the system, what do you even want to rely on? So me, let's say we're on the same team. You like salt, me I don't like salt. So when Mr. A comes today, salty, tomorrow no salt in the food. How will Mr. A feel? He'll go somewhere else.
That is the number one major concern with some Nigerian restaurants. Look at what David Adekoya said. He said, these are the things we don't take seriously as Africans. It's refreshing to see that you're doing this. And real quick, I just want to thank the same David Adekoya donated $30 to me. Thank you so much because of this interview. Thank you, Mr. David Adekoya. You didn't have to, but I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if you're watching this and you're enjoying it, especially as we're getting into all these details of being concise, precise, and consistent,
Consistent.
please and please share this as you're watching it on your social media platform. If you're watching it on Facebook, just click share, or if you're watching on YouTube, just click the share button and copy the link, put it on your social media platforms so that more people can hopefully join us. So I'm really, really impressed by this consistency, and I can imagine you had to train all your workers to be on the same page. And as a matter of fact, following you on Instagram, when you were getting ready to launch, you were in your restaurant for weeks, like maybe 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah, about 10 days just training without
Oh,
being open to the
for
staff,
10
to
days. Okay.
public. Yes.
Training staff. before this madam launched,
And we
you
were paying
spent
rent. So it wasn't, and we're not,
you spent
we're a
you
small
spent
business. It
10
takes,
days
yeah. But
as if
again, long game, long term.
the 10 days was as if she was open, but she wasn't open. Because I remember you had to let people know, no, we're not open yet. We're
Yes.
just getting ready. And in that 10 days, you were training your workers, you were cooking, you were doing things as if the restaurant was open, even though it
Oh,
wasn't, teaching them how to relate with customers and so on. I saw them like doing all kinds of exercises. We were asking them how to pronounce,
at Adindi,
how to
we
pronounce
also play. We also play a lot.
and all that. It's it's refreshing to see that you're doing this, but it also shows how committed you are, how
Thank
detailed you
you.
are, and how much you are after excellence. You
Yes.
just open the restaurant,
Mm.
had 10 days of training. So that's amazing. I'm posting the link right
The
now.
other thing, if I may mention, why you want to put in place consistency and systems, regardless of what industry or what your business is about, is if you don't have that, you can't even make smart business decisions. So, for example, when we receive goat leg, SN now, if you're Nigerian, I don't know how to say that in Hausa or Igbo, but a certain percentage, about 50% of the weight is bones, right? So if you're not consistent and you don't know what the meat ought to yield, you buy it as 20 pounds and about 10 pounds of it is bone that you cannot use. You need to know what the yield ought to be. If not, how do you know how to price the goat or how to sell the goat stew? So you need all of these systems in place. And then it's easier also to manage people if you've told them what to do. You can't be on the team at Dundu now and you cut the plantain like we used to cut it for my dad. Professor Bangoye, you can't do that. Do you know how we cut it at an angle? You know how we cut? Yeah, that's how I was taught to cut it. If you cut that in Dundu now, you and I, or you and the lead cook, you will have an issue because we put picture there, we wrote it there. Kilotunku, please.
So I've posted the link if you would like to join us in the studio to ask questions. And real quick, I just wanted to read this comment by Yomi Olayinka. It says, I wish I can come for a taste of your food. I think that's what he's trying to say. I visit Nigerian restaurants a lot, but their food differs in taste every time.
Well, we hope you come.
So I really really like this, that you're maintaining consistency. So I just posted the link. If anybody would like to join us, please follow that link on the screen, and then you will be able to join us. There's also a comment from Bridget Chigosi who says, I admire your spirit of excellence.
Oh,
Honestly, that just shows how committed you are
thank
to
you,
excellence.
Bridget.
So I really appreciate that as well myself. And while I'm waiting for people to ask their questions, you've spoken about one of the challenges that you had to face, which was losing the first place that you had thought that you would use. How is it like finding the right people to work with, keeping the right people? How do you treat workers in a way that you get to have the best out of them,
Mm.
and to have them being devoted and all? So I have a number of people in the studio, but a couple of them, your cameras are not up. So I would need to let you out if your cameras are not up. It says your devices are not connected. The some your devices are not connected. So please try to do something about that. Bernie and Agbo, your camera is not up, so please try to work on that. So real quick, how do you find the right people to work with you and to get them to always be motivated, you know, to
Okay,
work? I've seen videos of your workers; they are like happy to be there.
thank you. So I think relationships are important. When I hire, and when we hire Dundu, we tend to hire first for attitude and for the individual as a person. Um, like any other relationship, I think treating people with respect. We can train you, we can offer you skills. Of course, you have to have standard professional cooking experience or front of the house experience as a server, but we can help you improve those things. But you the attitude of the person, understanding what the person's interest, and then seeing the person first as a human. I think is very important. If you're a reader, one book I read on hiring that totally changed the game for me is called Who, WHO by Jeff Smart. His Jeff is spelled Geoff. His last name is Smart. So I would recommend that as a reading for you. But we hire first for attitude and then treat your people with respect. Treat them with kindness. I don't see the people on my team as in many ways I work for them because I can't do the work of Dundu alone. No matter how great I make jollof rice, I need these people. So treat your people with respect. See them as humans. Be kind. It doesn't mean you're not firm. I'm a very firm leader. And there may even be times you may have to let someone off the team or let them go. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means they may not be a fit for your team. But treat your people with respect, show them kindness, and do right. I'm a person of faith. I'm not just a business owner, I'm a Christian. And that matters to me. So, well, how about just decency and kindness to the other person and treating them the way you want to be treated? So, use hiring platforms to find the right people. We tend to use Indeed, we use word of mouth. Good team members also bring new team members. So, if you have great team members, absolutely tell them you're hiring. They bring a cousin, they bring a friend, and then develop the culture of the place. Let people be. I spend half of my life at Dundu, and I say to my team often, I don't want to be miserable for half of my life. So if I'm spending half of my waking hours here every day, you don't have to be friends, but you have to be kind and you have to treat each other with respect. Plus, you can't pour out of an empty cup. So if there is no respect and kindness and some level of happiness within the team, guess what? They're not going to pass it on to your guests. If your cup is empty, what are you going to pour out? Do nothing.
Wow, thank you so much. Yes, I want to start taking guests, and I'm just reading a few comments real quick. A couple of people have been asking if Dundu is a franchise, and also Budget Chigosi says, "I admire your spirit of excellence." Adeola Oluwinas is also asking about whether it's a franchise,
No, it's
and
not.
Paul.
Yes, anyway.
It's not okay. Paul Omotesha says success isn't always about greatness, it's about consistency. Thank you so much for that. And Omar Gene Timothy, a lot of people just admire your spirit of excellence.
Thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Christiana is saying you are very intelligent, God will prosper you massively. Someone is asking why your Instagram page is private. Is it? I don't think it is.
No, it's not.
It's not okay.
It's not.
And
My personal and the business isn't.
I'm saving this question for last. We will still come back to it. But I have my brother here, David Adekoya. Please tell us where you're calling from and what your question is. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, David.
Hello. Thank you very, very much for this very informative and insightful interview. I'm calling from Australia. It's actually the interview started at 5 a.m. Australian time, and we're already on Monday in Australia. So
well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I was just waiting for the link so I can call in and go and prepare for work. I'm a chemical engineer by trade, and I work in the energy field. I really, well, let me first start by saying I would just like to employ everyone who is listening to this interview to please go and like the video and share it and subscribe to Adiola's channel. It's free. She didn't pay me to do it, so I'm just doing it.
Oh, I have to come back to Australia just to thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm just doing it because I think it's something that we need to learn more to do as Nigerians, to support each other, not just in the words of our mouth, but in our actions as well. And I just called in to say, they're actually in my city, in my state in Australia, in Queensland, there's no Nigerian restaurant, but in the big city like Sydney, there's a Nigerian restaurant there. So I've got a friend who is like someone who looks up to me. and he's planning to start a Nigerian restaurant. He has a Nigerian restaurant in Nigeria, and he's been trying to start one. So he's been asking me for professional advice. So I've been an engineer for some years now, and I just give him some information. The first meeting we had, just to speed things up, he talked about how he wants to start this restaurant. He wants to do, Nigerian food in a way that is appealing for Westerners and Australians in particular, and things like that. So he had a lot of good ideas, how he wants to do his geese dodo, how he wants to do his jollof rice and all these things. So me particularly, I think restaurant is more than the food, and I think that's one of the things that you've alluded to. It's a business, and there's a lot of things that go into it. So I started asking him a lot of questions about, what's your strategy? How do you intend to compete with the Chinese food? A lot of Chinese foods are everywhere, and they do work. 5 minutes, they've cooked your fried rice for you. 10 minutes, and we know Nigerian food, it takes a lot, And then there's Indian food as well. I said, what's your strategy? How do you intend to gain market share? How do you intend to stand out from the crowd? It's not just good enough that you're doing Nigerian food and you say, oh, it's new, they can't taste this anywhere. How do you intend to gain the market share? Then I started asking him about information. How do you value your company? Because now there are a lot of Nigerians saying they want to invest. They want to do franchise. What's the valuation for your company? Because I watch a lot of Shark Tank, a lot of Dragon's Den, a lot of, so I'm asking him all these technical questions. He was surprised. I wasn't asking him about the jollof rice and the food. And I said, no. The restaurant is so much more than that. So I think you elaborating many of those things or shining light on some of those things is very important, because I think a lot of people don't look at that technical part of business, and especially starting a restaurant. But to move it along so that other people can ask their question, because I really just want to support. And also, I'm going to send this video to the guy, because I'm sure he's sleeping now. He's a student. I'm going to get him to watch it in detail and hopefully try to contact you. But just to move it along, so you have some investors. How did you sort of find a way to stand out? Because I know in the US, there are a lot of Nigerian restaurants. How do you find a way to carve out your own unique selling point that can give you a share of the market? How did you structure your restaurant so that it can benefit from that? And then, how did you also value your business so that you can get a valuation for people who wanted to invest? Maybe it's 30% they wanted to invest, or how much, and things like that, because you just started a restaurant like that and you haven't really been in business for 10 years, 20 years. So how did you value it to be like that? I think I'll just leave it at those two questions.
All right. Thank you for joining, David. I think two questions you asked now: how to value the business, and then what was the first one again?
What would you call your USP? What's your unique selling point that makes you stand out for them?
Okay, all right. So I think that if you have an idea, whether it's in food or it's not in food, right, you want to define what's unique to that business. So for us, we're selling Nigerian food, but we're selling it in a fast casual model. A fast casual model, fast casual restaurants are restaurants where you get actual meals. It's not fast food like McDonald's, that it's real food made with real ingredients. Not that McDonald's isn't real food, excuse me, but it's actually good for you food made with real ingredients and presented to you in a casual, fast method. That's what Dundu is. So whatever your own unique selling proposition is, like you said, figure out what that is, even if it looks like it's a crowded market. I don't think African food is at the point anywhere, or any Nigerian food in the US or New York, where it's a crowded market. That's not the state for us yet. But even if it's a crowded market, there is always room for something that is excellent. There's always room for something that is distinct. If you commit to your craft and you put a system in place, there's no reason why there won't be room for you. If I may use a non-food example, look at the electric cars that are being made today. They took
That's my industry, actually.
From regular cars. The Tesla doesn't have square wheels. The wheel is not broken, so they've left it round. It needs a battery. It still has a battery. But what it doesn't have is it doesn't use gas. So there's always opportunity for improvement. Back in college, when we had those Nokia phones in Nigeria, we thought we were lit. Then Steve Jobs came with the iPhone. So there's always room for improvement. Am I correct? So it depends. Now, as to Dundu just started, Dundu did not just start. Dundu did not just start and we got a valuation or whatever. No, I began this journey over 10 years ago. This is not an overnight thing. When Dundu started, we started with food tastings. We were going to commercial kitchens. We would cook, like I said, we would put our things in a Cambro, put it in Uber, and be hustling all over NYC. So this did not happen all overnight. You have to put your product out there as the minimum viable product. Now, give it your best. Make sure that you do your very best with it. When you look back at it in 5 years, you're like, is that where I was? But that's okay. That was your best for that time. Give it your best, push it out to the market, let the market give you feedback. We didn't just open in Midtown, prime Midtown Manhattan. We started in commercial kitchens. We started in farmers markets. You would go to this, we were at Broadway Bites, this market where you would rent the space. This market where you would rent the space for about $10,000 for 7 weeks, 8 weeks, and you'll be there. You would cook from there. We would cook overnight in the commercial kitchen, be there in the morning before daybreak to beat Manhattan traffic. And that's how you learn. And you get feedback from the market. You learn to tweak some things. For example, when we started at the markets with Dundu, Dundu started off as a high-end catering company. I was doing food tastings. I was servicing high-income clients in Long Island, in Westchester, and in Manhattan. And then we started doing these bowls, grains and proteins in the farmers markets. When we started, we were offering the Nigerian type salad. Our salad now, indulgent, creamy, big, everything in there to make you happy. And it was great. And I loved it. And we had those who loved it. But even from Nigerian Americans, we kept getting requests. Don't you have a vinaigrette? Don't you have something that is not creamy? So I went back and I applied my culinary education using ingredients that were familiar to me, like atarodo that my stepmom loves and the mango tree that grew up behind our house. Atarodo, by the way, excuse me, is habanero for those who don't know what that is. I'm putting those together to create salad dressings that were equally delicious, had a clear Nigerian flavor profile, if you understand what I'm saying, but it was what the guests wanted. So don't hide it. Give it your best, put in place proper systems, be disciplined about it, put it in the market, let the market tell you what you have to do to improve it. And then as to finding partners, find people who are interested and see value and potential in what it is you're doing, and then systemize it and define it well. That would be my suggestion.
Okay, so
that's
I'm playing this just so people could see what she meant by when she started.
Exactly. This was one of our markets. You see that stall? You see how tiny it is?
She was renting this small space, just by the roadside. This is just by the roadside on the street. And she was selling Nigerian food. By the way, there was also a time that you were doing like egusi and everything.
Oh yeah, that's true. I did that as well. We would cook it in, we would do egusi and stews, and I would label it. If you can find that part of the video, and we would label it. We'll put the information on there. So it's been a journey. It's not like Dundu started yesterday. Not at all.
So this was the egusi that she was doing at the time and the stew. So she was doing it all at the beginning, and then she found out what people actually want in terms of not just what Nigerians want. My brother, you brought up the question of how do you compete with Chinese restaurants? How do you compete with? So she's targeting not just Nigerians, she's targeting everybody. She wants the whole world to be interested in Nigerian food, but they may not all be interested in every Nigerian food at a go. But whatever it is they're
And
interested
there are people, no, there are even people interested in the egusi. It's not like, there's no market for this. No, whatever your own niche is, put it out there. There are people who come into the store and say, you don't have egusi. I said, we will. Make sure you buy all the jollof rice that we have for now. So we have room to sell egusi. It doesn't mean there's no market for egusi. You just need to find out what it is you want to do. What do you want to do? What do you think you can, what's your own vision? Everybody everybody's perspective is different. McDonald's exists, but there's still Burger King.
Definitely. Don't get me wrong. Egusi has huge markets. In fact, I don't know if you've been on TikTok and you've seen the challenge with
Yeah.
Egusi and Fufu and all that. But I'm just saying it's always good to start with something and then you build up later instead of trying to start with everything and then nothing is working.
Yes. Start from where you
Start,
are.
start from where you are.
Start from
And
where you are. And
and
I
I
want to encourage you, just to add to what Adiola said, start from where you are. Every giant was born a baby. If not, how did you come out of your mommy's belly? You were born a baby. So start where you are with what you have and put in your best to that and just be disciplined and consistent
So if your
where
friend is
you are.
watching, please tell him first of all he needs to work on that consistency thing. I think everybody on this platform has appreciated the fact that she's giving every customer the same thing. I think
Mm.
that's the first place to start perfecting what you do to the point where you know you do the same thing each time and you have it documented. Also, I think it's great that you want him to compete with not just other African restaurants, but Chinese restaurants and all. Like you said, their food is always fast when you go to Chinese restaurants. Within 10 minutes, you get your food.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, sometimes when we go to some Nigerian restaurant, we are sitting down after half hour, 40 minutes, the food is still not ready and then it's different from the one that you ate yesterday. I think working on that is a major, and also the atmosphere. I'm gonna be playing a video showing her restaurant while we're taking the next question, so that people see. This was a number of media companies in New York have featured her restaurant, and it makes me proud as a Nigerian to see this. So,
Thank
all
you.
right, thank you so much, Mabara, for joining us all the way from Australia. Let's
Thank
take the
you, David.
Thank, thank you very much. I
all right,
appreciate it, and I will just, as I said, I'm going to go and prepare for work now.
all right. Thank you,
But thank you very much.
thank
Yeah.
you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, we have Olakunle. Your mic is muted. Okay, I've unmuted you. Hi, please tell us where you're calling from and what your question is.
Olakune is my name, as you rightly read. Calling from Georgia. Let me just be a little bit sarcastic before I go into my question. Auntie Diola, hey, I am live with you. Ah, this is jackpot. I
Thank
am
you very
seeing you.
much.
I'm not watching you on plasma TV. I am watching you on a nice 4K 3G. And
Ah,
I'll tell
live and
you,
direct. Thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Auntie Folusho, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the um, story you've been telling of your growth and the consistency. So, my interest or my question does not fall within the restaurant angle. It falls within another area of business, but it's more pivot towards moving from moving from one's area of training. Oh my goodness. It's not, oh, I'm so sorry. Ah, She she
So,
got I'm
you're
coming.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. So coming more from the angle of moving from one's area of training, study, and certification to something of passion. So you moving from being a lawyer
Yeah.
to owning your own restaurant and doing that. So a quick background of me of myself. I work in the tech industry,
Okay.
and for so long, I've always had this desire of going into real estate. So I could be driving and I would see maybe a portion of land or just see an open space. And I discovered that, say, after 6 months, 1 year, what I actually thought of would fit into that space or would be nice to have in that space would end up being what whosoever buys that place or the investor that comes in there will put in that particular location. So that gave me some that gave me the the boost of, okay, I think I have something that will be good for real estate. Now, this is where my question lies. I've been trying to Titulola, I'm so sorry.
Please go ahead.
It's okay. She wants to be part of this.
Exactly. Please let her
Hi,
be.
baby.
She's
I've been
beautiful. So please let her be.
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of research in the angle of real estate and what I need to do. How do I get into real estate? When do I start? And things of the like. So I want to know, when was it at that point in your career that you discovered that, okay, it is the right time for me to quit this professional job I'm doing and face this my passion and my desire? That's one. Then the second question is, at what point do you come to that realization of, okay, I think bringing in investors at this time is the right time to
Okay.
to make a move?
So I think for every individual, regardless of what I'll speak from my experience. For every individual, it's different, right? But one of the things that you want to consider before you totally switch careers, and it's important to be very practical. I'm a very practical person. Is what you want to switch to into full time now? Do you have a proof of concept for it before you make the huge step, right?
Mhm.
That's one thing. Another thing about passion is very important. But I think sometimes the phrase follow your passion, and I say this with utmost respect, if you're not careful, it could lead one into error. Because if you say follow your passion, you may have more than one passion. You may have multiple passions, but your passion will not keep you when things get challenging. So while your passion may be important in discovering well where your interest lies, what you have a natural knack for, what is equally important is this thing I want to do. Is there an opportunity for it? Is there a market opportunity for it? Am I good at this thing? Is this something I'll be willing to commit to when I'm not feeling like it? Because starting a business in many ways is like a relationship or marriage. Loving the person, loving that choice of career, that switch is a decision. If you make it based on emotions alone or passion alone, when that business is testing you, you need to be deliberate. So you have to go in there. They say, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. You want to be but seriously, you want to be deliberate about it. You understand what I'm saying? So is there proof of concept? You also want to be realistic about what your responsibilities are. I spoke earlier about if you partner with someone or in a marriage, how will the choices and the decision you're making, what financial or even organizational impact will it have on you and the partner? So those are the things I would consider from a passion perspective. As to when to switch, do you have traction? The people you're serving already, are they asking you for more things? But you mentioned real estate. I'm no real estate expert, but from what I've observed from those around me who are involved in it and the little I know about it, it's something that you may want to start on the side and see how it goes. If you're not able to do land, do you want to invest maybe in a syndicate, or do you want to buy a plot of land and let it appreciate? Or see, maybe you just want to buy an apartment, perhaps in a place in Georgia that is not so close to the city, a small town college community where you can rent and you can put a property manager there and you still have enough to pay the mortgage of that investment property. You see what I mean? So those are all the things you have to consider. Start it from where you are. If you have a steady job, you can stay with the steady job. Whatever savings you've put aside for it, you don't have to buy it in the huge metropolitan city that you are. If let's say you're in New York, go to Albany, Go to the Troy area, these places that have college towns, and there are people there that rent apartments where you can put in place a property manager, and from the rent you can pay the mortgage of the investment property and still have a little to set aside that can be cash flow and that you can use to build wealth into another real investment properties. So those will be the considerations, I think, and understand what the KPIs of real estate are, cash flow, property taxes, all of those implications that you have to deal with, and be very clear-eyed about it and be deliberate. Also, if you're a person of faith, ask God to order your steps. God is there to help you, but more importantly, be practical. He's not going to change the post. There are people in business who are not people of faith. So be practical, be realistic, and just go for it. Don't hold back. Just give it your best shot.
I really like this advice, and a number of people agree with you in the comment section, like David Adekoya saying, test your feet in the water first before diving in. I think um, real estate is one of those things that you can actually combine with a full-time job. A lot of people are into real estate, even though it's not their full-time job. Now, me, I'm not saying don't make it full-time job because I know people that are doing it full-time
Do.
so successful. But like she said, if you can like try out, how she said she started out as Sissy Poots, cooking on Friday nights and selling it over the weekend and all that. She didn't just get into Dundu in one day, until she felt comfortable enough that what, this thing is going to be successful, before she actually quit her job and also before going into it full time. So I think if you can also do that, you can buy a property, you can try to, and you can also try to get a license, a real estate license. I think that they have like things that you have to study and all that. You can work on that in the meantime, to get to know the in and out of things, and you can start out with a property and see how well it does and all that before you, maybe by this time next year we'll have you on the show as well, thriving.
Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed, because like the last Pastor Emmanuel, I'm trying to remember yes, that you invited. I was gonna attend the real estate training that he said it was organizing alongside with Madam Grace Okure and all that, but it has to be in person in Nigeria. Actually, I've been making different moves. I was deliberate, just as you said. See, actions need to be deliberate. So I made sure that the feeds I was seeing on Instagram, on YouTube, was related to what I want. So I was seeing different people post different stuff. So I made sure that my things I see daily on the social media is in line with what I'm thinking and what I want to do. So with that, I was then able to pick out. You talked about mentor and you talked about role model. So I was able to pick a mentor. Actually, mentors you have to still pay and all those stuff. So I was able to pick. I was able to pick a mentor that will be. I'm gonna go through his training model to get into this real estate. I'm not trying to become an agent per se, that like a seller agent, buyer agent. I'm really trying to own something where
portfolio is what you're interested in.
Right. So I have made some of the initial moves that I think will put me in the right position. I'm just thinking in my head that, okay, when could be that right time for you to be like?
You won't be in doubt. You will know. Because the business you will be getting, the business will be growing. There will be a greater demand on your time. It will start generating revenues. It will start generating revenues that will be able to support you in a bit of a way to meet your own needs. So the key indicators will be there. By that time, when the time is right, you understand what your overhead is. You understand what your maintenance costs are. You understand that sometimes the spaces will be vacant and then your cash flow may not be the same. You understand that when the place is flush. So all of those things will come over time. With
Mm,
every
mm.
individual and with every situation, it might vary.
Beautiful,
You're on the
Thank
beautiful,
you
right
so
track, and
much.
good luck with everything.
beautiful,
Yeah, good
beautiful.
luck. We hope that you do it, make us proud, and then come
We're
back
rooting
next to
for
share
you.
your story.
Sure.
Just like
Thank you so
Cynthia.
much. Just
Cynthia says that Cynthia says joining this assures her that she's doing well and she's on track. She's starting what she calls Olivia's Kitchen, and she believes
Yay.
that someday she will be hosted by Adiola Fayo. Why not? We're
Good
all
luck,
looking
Cynthia.
forward to
We're rooting for you.
just a quick
success.
joke in regards to cooking and kitchen and all that. When I was in college in Nigeria, because I ended up loving to cook. I did not start by, oh, I really want to cook. I started cooking as a result of not having money to go to restaurant anymore. So I came to school one semester with lots of raw food stuff. I had no idea how to cook. And myself and my friend, it might even be here, I never can tell, Edward, and we just started figuring it out. And lo and behold, we stopped going to the regular restaurant and we were cooking and we will feed a lot of people on our floor. And after a while, some of my friends, when we're getting close to graduating, and some of my friends will make joke like say, Kunle, if you no see job, we just go to cook. Just go open restaurant.
That's
you
nice.
know but yeah, that's just part of it. I love to cook. I enjoy cooking after that experience of not always having money to go to restaurant anymore. But yeah, I enjoy cooking. And again, Auntie Diola,
Yes, sir.
thank you so much.
You're
It's a
welcome.
pleasure to be here on this world stage with
Yeah,
your one and only girl.
thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
The very best.
Thank you, Kunle.
And our next
Yes.
guest, our next guest today is not a visitor. She's not a guest anymore. She's a regular on this show. Her name is Nadi. Nadi is my friend now. I'm yet to meet her, but hey, she joins every time she could. Hi, Nadi. How have you
Hi,
been? Thank you
Nadi.
for joining us. And tell us where you're joining from and what's your
And
question.
my name is Nadi. I'm joining from Norway. Hi, Adiola. I just want to say I'm so happy to actually see you and talk to you again. I'm so sorry, my baby is crying.
Me
I'm
too.
sorry.
I'm so happy to see you too.
Thank you so much. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing
Okay,
okay.
well, thank you. Yes, and hi, Auntie
Hi,
Polo.
Nadine. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking.
Thank you so much. And my question is that uh oh my god. Okay, now I'll get back to this. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Take your time.
Okay, okay. My my question is that like and like 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 how many people support you in your business, like to like support you, like give you advice to keep going on, if even though you're having challenges.
What? So, can you be a bit more specific when you say support?
Yeah, like I said that, how many people that travel, okay, ask you here. Like I said, how many people that support you, how many people support you in your business, how many people support you to keep going.
Oh, okay. Like you mean a staff strength?
Yes.
Oh, so it varies. It varies per time, the number of people in the restaurant. So we're a team of less than 10 people at this time, but we're not necessarily all there at the same time. So
Okay.
we staff based, we have shifts, we staff based on what the business needs are at that particular time. During lunch, when it's very busy, at
Okay.
peak hours, the staffing strength is different from when it's late lunch, which is between the lunch and the dinner rush. So we staff accordingly is what we do per time. But everybody has different roles and different responsibilities. And one of the things I've also found very helpful is quite a number of the people on my team are cross trained. And by cross trained, I mean we have some very great cooks who are also able to work in the front of the house and be servers. So that helps us to be able to cross training people. I think is great. So times when it's not your busiest time of the day, having two, three people in the restaurant who can cross move and act in be effective in role A and in role B is very effective. So
Oh,
that also helps because you also, as a small business owner, you want to stay on top of your labor costs.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm
anytime.
very impressed of you, Red. I'm just listening. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Nice to
Adola,
talk to
thank
you.
you so much. Adola, I love you so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
I love you too. Thank you. All right.
Bye,
So we're going to
Nancy.
go to the next person. That is Kizes. Sorry. That is Kizes Lester. Before he says his question, I just want to read a few comments. Somebody named Tracy, I don't know, maybe you know this person, Tracy Boogie says, "Well done, Felicia, proud of you. Shout out from London."
Oh, that's my elder sister.
Oh, okay.
She knows I'm a nerd.
Sister is watching. She must be really proud of
I
you.
love you. I love you. I love you.
And real quick, Catherine Ilona is wondering, she's in Ibadan, but she's wondering if two of her friends, her friend and her daughter in the US, if they can visit you at your restaurant because they are considering a venture similar to yours. Are you available for consultation, and how much is your price? Those things. Do they have to go through me before and I'm just kidding.
Anyone can
Anyways,
visit. Anyone can visit Dundu. Dundu is open to the public, so everyone and anyone, anytime is welcome all the time. So please visit. Feel free to visit, and if I'm there, please say hello. And if I have any answers to the questions asked, I'll be happy to share. But Dundu is always open. Once we're open, anyone can come in.
awesome. How late are you open? I know you start at 11.
So currently we're open on weekdays. We're in the heart of the office district in Midtown Manhattan. So we open at 11 and we close at 7 p.m. on
11 to 7
weekdays
p.m.
currently. Yes.
Olubomi Adewale Abatunde says, "Thank you for this wealth of wisdom."
Thank you, Bumi.
Yeah, Missy says, "God bless you for this show." And once again, Olubumi says, "Your voice is soothing and that you will also be a great voiceover artist." So it's not
Okay, Disney, next animation, call me.
the talent is
Thank
not
you,
just in
Bumi.
the restaurant. But let's take Lester's question. Hi, my brother. Tell us where you're calling from. Thanks for joining us again. I remember you from the last time. And tell us what you
Hi, hi, my sister Adiola. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Madam, I want to good afternoon
Good
to us.
afternoon.
It's
Please call
evening.
me
I don't know
from
if it is afternoon by your side. Where whatever the time is. I wish you. I hope you are doing well. Is everything okay? Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. I would like to ask for we that maybe we are not into much in business, like person that is starting up, like before you go into business, what you should consider first. One. Second, like what are the challenges you should be you should be expecting before when you are in business. And thirdly, how can you scale your business? And what is your plan in scaling your business? Because I have a dream for you. I know that it will come to pass. Like I will come to like in Italy here. I will just go into Dundu, and I know that I will have the best meal of my life, and I will be feeling that I'm in Nigeria back. I will be back home, like, oh, I eat my meal. So that's my
So
key
you
point
have like
questions.
3 questions, and she
Yeah.
already answered like the
Yeah.
first two. Maybe you may need to watch, but the last one.
No, I want her
first.
to go generally to be like I miss the part of the program. Sorry, I just wanted to go generally about the question, not to be specific about food and beverage, like somebody that want to go into tech, real estate, and all that. Sorry if I make you to repeat yourself.
No, it's okay. I'm happy to share what I know. So, I think you had 3 questions, like Adiola pointed out. The first one, which we'd cover, the first two we'd covered. So the first one was, how do you, if you have, how you said, how do you start in business? I think the first thing
Yeah.
is that correct? Good. So
What are before starting a business, what things you should consider before starting a business?
Okay, all right. So before starting a business, right, you want to figure out what exactly is it that you want to put out there, right? You need to have an idea. You need to have something you're passionate about, a product or a service that you're looking to meet a need basically. because a business basically is people exchanging their financial value for a product or service that you're offering. Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So you have to figure out, I would think that would be the very first step. Figure out what that product or service is. Understand how you intend to make money from that product or service. Now, what is we had talked about the USP before. What makes that business unique? Which is the unique selling proposition? What's different about it? Why would people give their money to you and not to the other person who offers a similar service to what you are providing, or perhaps your service or your product has never been seen before, like when what's it called, that thing that had music, not the iPhone, why does it elude
I,
me? Yeah,
iPad, iPod
yeah.
or iPad.
Yeah, the iPod, exactly. When the iPod came out and we were all super impressed by it. So figuring out what that is, I think, would be the very first step for you. And then secondly, you said what kind of challenges would you face? I think that's a very general question. It will depend on what industry you're in, and how you are approaching building the business. But certainly, you will have to, some of the challenges that I think are common to every entrepreneur is you have to figure out how to market your product. You have to figure out how to produce your product correctly, consistently. You have to figure out how to hire people. You have to figure out how to train those people out to ensure that you not just train them, but after training them, they do what they've been trained to do. So there are quite a series of things that you can expect as challenges. But if you're committed to it, you're disciplined, and you get knowledge. Get knowledge. Um, you know, commit to improving your skill level. Commit to excellence in your craft, and trying to become the very best at what you will do. I think that's very important. And taking it one step at a time, whatever challenge you face, you'll be able to overcome it that way, and just being persistent. Don't give up. You may have to tweak it, you may have to improve it, you may have to, reshape it and remold it, and that's okay. But be focused, be disciplined, be consistent, and don't give up, and be teachable. Be teachable. I think that's one of the things that has worked for me the most in life. I am a teachable person. I am very teachable. So be teachable. I think that's an asset.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
that
you
is
so
you.
much.
You need to be adopts every time. You need to be learning more and to be
Exactly.
consistent. Okay. What about the last part of the question? That is the third question. How to
Solution,
scale
how
your
to scale
business,
your business. Yes, let's
and
To scale your business.
what are your plans to scale the business around the globe? Because
So how
we
to
are not talking
scale,
about.
how to scale Dundu, or
Yeah, because
you're going to explain how
I
to
scale
want
scale.
your
something
business in
that,
general.
sorry if I cut you short. I want something like, if I come to Dundu, I want to feel home. I want to go back to Nigeria. Even though I'm not in Nigeria, when I eat, I know that I'm eating my food. I want to feel like, this is home. Because when you are using iPhone, you feel special. As we are talking about iPod. If you use iPhone, you know you are special. You are not using the rest like other phones. Like when I want to go to Dundu, I want to see something specific. I want to feel home. I want to go back to my I don't know how to say it. I want to go back to my mother's land. From the food I eat, I want to feel like, oh yes, I'm home. I'm
Okay.
eating my grandmother's food.
I'm sure when you visit Dundu in New York, and ultimately Dundu will go beyond New York. The goal of this restaurant and my goal is to definitely scale beyond where we're at right now. And I'm sure when you visit us in New York, our food will give you that experience. So make sure you come by very soon.
Okay,
Thank
okay.
you very much.
So,
All right. Thank you so
what
much,
about
my
the scale
brother.
part? How to scale the business?
How to scale your business or any business in general. So
Generally.
I think the things we mentioned earlier, having in place systems, proper systems, hiring the right people, being clear on what is unique about your business and why people will purchase from you instead of other people. I think those are some of the key ingredients amongst many others. that it's important you figure out to allow you scale the business, put in place systems, be deliberate, be consistent, and hire the right
Oh,
people, then train them.
Awesome. Thank
thank
you
you,
so
ma'am.
much, my brother. Thank you so
Just
much for
please,
joining us.
just one more, one last question,
Well,
and I will keep my
see,
mouth
let me
shut.
read a comment.
One last question, I keep my mouth shut.
Look at
Uh,
this comment. Try to move people along quickly because there are so many people that are trying to ask questions. And we've been on at
okay,
it for
okay, I will
almost
just
2 hours.
just last one because I just love the response I'm getting from my sister. And is competition good for a startup, like a starting business? Is competition good for a startup?
Every business will have competition. So I don't, is competition good?
Yeah,
Yes.
for a starting up business like a startup.
It depends on your perspective. I think there'll always be competition, but I think instead of focusing on competition, you should focus on what you are doing. Focus on what you are doing. That should be your focus. The competition isn't going to pay you. Your guests will, your customers will. So focus on giving them the best. The competition will always be there. Even when they're not there when you start, they will be there at some point. But focus on your guests. That would be my point.
I
Focus
should
on your
focus on my craft.
focus.
Okay,
Focus on
thank
your
you very much.
focus.
Thank
People,
you.
not on the competition.
Thank you,
Once
Adiola.
you
I really
focus on your
appreciate it. I learned a
focus,
lot tonight.
you don't need to worry about. There will always be competition.
Exactly.
You focus on your focus, you'll be fine. Real quick, real quick for
Thank
you,
you very much.
just so you know, you posted on Instagram that there are two types of rice. There's jollof rice and then there's
And
every.
the rest.
Just so you know, there's this Ghanaian brother, Kofi, who is always trying to pull my legs when I'm doing my show like that, you know. He's here asking if I'm feeding my daughter Ghanaian jollof rice. You
My
see,
brother, why are you doing this now?
when we are
I didn't
talking
say
about
Nigeria jollof. I just said
Nigerian
jollof rice.
food,
So I included all my Ghanaian brothers and sisters. You all are included, okay? But Nigeria jollof, Ghana jollof. Abba. Let's not have that
anyways,
discussion.
I just want you to know real quick that you have some shout outs from a number of people who know you, who admire you. Olu Adekamp is one of them. Hello, Auntie Felicia. It's Mimi from London. I cannot wait to try your food.
Thank
It
you,
looks like
Mimi.
this person knows you. There's also Praise Bangboye. Shout out, Auntie Felicia. I
Thank you.
think they know you. Oluwatoyin Oba. Shout out from Niger. Felicia, so proud of my darling cousin. So
Hi,
I think
hi, hi. Thank you. I'm
I
from a very large family, very global too.
That's wonderful. And Omotade really likes what you said, that passion likes the sustaining strength in trying times.
It
So
does.
they really like that you talked
And
about.
passion can change. Passion
Yeah.
can change. So passion is great, but you need discipline, consistency, and there has to be opportunity there. So not just follow your passion alone is not enough. You have to pay your rent and your bills. You have to send your kids to college. So open up your.
True word right there. So the last people that we have, Destiny Allison, Desam, and Bani Anagbao. Those are the last people I'm taking because it's almost 2 hours. My guest is getting tired. I'm so sorry. But right now we have Destiny. Please tell us where you're calling from and what your question is.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Destiny and I'm calling from Australia.
Hello, Destiny. How are
Hi.
you?
Very well, thank you. This is a very good platform. I really appreciate your time. It's actually my first time getting into the program, and I had just woken up, and a friend sent me the link, and he's like, "Since you're interested in this business, in this area of business, you need to join this link." And the interesting thing is, back in Nigeria, I had the franchise of Dudu Nation. I was one of the franchise owners of Dudu Nation in Wusetu, Abuja. So when I saw it, I was like, "Whoa, what an interesting coincidence!" Real quick, my question is on you know setting up something like this in a country outside the Nigerian country, and that's currently where I'm at, trying to set up something very original, something very Nigerian. But one of the fears we get to have is, possibility of being accepted even by the Western guys, because at first the plan was just make it more like a fusion, have other cuisines and stuff. And then secondly, we are thinking of making it strictly original, strictly local, present the Niger stuff there, and don't worry about the non-Nigerians. How do you deal with those challenges or with those fears? What would be your advice? Is it to go strictly local or to try and make it a bit westernized?
Well, it's nice to meet you, Destiny. I think I can give you specific advice on whether you should do a fusion or go strictly authentic or or westernize totally. I think what I might be able to give you some counsel on is what is in your heart to do. What do you believe in? What do you think has the opportunity? Where do you think the opportunity lies for the concept that you have? That's what I would focus on, right? They're different concepts. Fusions, many restaurant fusion concepts have done very well. Straight line, authentic concepts too have done well. It depends on what you want to do and where the opportunities lie. I don't think Ikoyi in London, I haven't been. I follow them online and I'm a huge fan of what they're doing. I'm not sure if it should even be described as fusion, but they are inspired by West African cuisine, and what they're doing is so impressive. What they're doing is so impressive. A straight up authentic Nigerian restaurant with everything too. There are many great ones that are impressive. So I think figuring out what is it I want to do? What is unique about this thing I want to put in the market? And then where I want to put it. Is there opportunity there? Those are the things I would focus on. And as to having fears, oh, it's a good thing. If you don't have any fears, it means your dreams are too small or what you want to do is inconsequential. So go in there a little afraid. Everybody is always a little afraid. They're just doing it anyway. So go ahead and do it.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think that's all.
Okay, all right. No worries. Good luck with everything. I'm rooting for you. You got this.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Miss Adiola, where is she? Adiola, did we lose you? Okay, I can't let anyone in the room here, so we're just going to have to hold on and wait for Adiola. Let me see if I can reach her.
What happened to Adela?
Oh,
I'm so sorry. The next guest we have is Desam. Please tell us where you're calling from and what your question is.
Okay. God bless you, Adiola, Miss Adiola. My sister, yeah, I want to thank you for giving us knowledge in so many things that we need to learn and to hear too. I want to thank Adiola more. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm calling from Port Harcourt. I have my own brand. Last year, I did a video with Adiola and Josh. Josh, which has to do with something about sending money, send wave. Yeah, I can actually remember.
I remember
From
you.
Send Wave.
Hi. We're no longer hearing you.
I can't hear you anymore, Disam. Adiola, can you hear him?
We can't hear you at all. Hello? And your camera is frozen as well. Hello?
Maybe he can type his question in the comments.
Yeah, maybe you can type your question in the comments. I think he's the last one in the studio, actually. The other people, they dropped off. There's Sam. Hello? Okay, I'm going to read some comments while his camera boots. Faith Agbelusi really likes what you mentioned about one being teachable.
Yeah. Thanks.
And Suni Joe really likes all your answers to the questions. You've really mastered the tool of excellence in business management.
Thank you, Sunny. I haven't mastered it yet, but I'm still learning. But thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that.
Disam, if you can hear us, maybe log out and log back in. Try that. Disam, I don't know if you can hear us, but maybe if you sign out and log back in. And Bayonle says doing business in Nigeria is challenging, but he's encouraged and he's forging ahead irrespective of all the hurdles.
I'm rooting for you, Bayonle. Go for it. You can do it.
This is a comment by Bola Edu who says that you're absolutely right that sometimes you don't have the support of a partner or family member, but letting God lead and building your own support system is key.
Yeah. It's your life. You're the architect of your own life. Make your own choices. Go for it. And, God is faithful. He won't let you down. And be disciplined and determined. And hopefully the person comes around. And if they don't, just go on your own journey. You have one life to live. Give it all.
And Paul says success isn't always about greatness, it's all about consistency. I think that's the biggest lesson for me as well from this show, the fact that you make sure that everybody gets the same thing. That's like taking excellence to another level. It's like making things automated so that it's the same results.
Yes, yes.
Love it. All right, Disam, let's try one more time.
Okay.
My brother. Yeah. Go to your question quickly so that if anything happens again.
Okay.
Can you type your question?
Yeah, I think that might be helpful. We'll take it. You can type it.
This
Oh,
doesn't
he's
want you
back.
to type it. Nicole really appreciates this noble venture to educate and promote upcoming entrepreneurs. Thank you, Nicole. This is one of your customers.
Thank you. Thank you for keeping us open.
Oladile Oyeni has visited you twice.
Thank you. We appreciate you, Oladile. Thank you. Thank you.
Catherine was asking how to join live. I posted the link, but now we're rounding up, so sorry. Olubenga Bamiboye is celebrating you and proud of you. I think this is one of your cousins as well. Your
Thank
entire
you,
family
Julia.
is the show.
Family
Okay.
everywhere.
Disam, please type your question. Like I really want to ask your question, but it's not, the video is not working. So please type your question, Disam.
Well, while we wait, I think the one question I think we may not have covered a bit was the question about getting partners and investors. Is it okay to share a bit about that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so quickly, I think in getting partners or investors, Dundu is very much a small business. We won't always be. Our goal is to grow, but I think finding people who understand what it is you're doing and see value in understand what you're doing. They don't have to be in your industry, but see value in what it is you're trying to achieve is important. You should also be looking for investors who are accredited investors. For example, in the US, there's a minimum amount of revenue that a person must earn for them to be able to go into a startup venture, a small business, and invest in it. So, and on people who understand that a business takes time to grow. If you're also looking for partners, I think before you think of investing, make sure your systems are in place, you understand how your business makes money and how those who come into your business, how they will make money and get profit from it as well. Doesn't matter whether they are friends, they are family members, or they are investors from outside. I think by outside, I mean not people within your personal circle. I think it's important. Once you have systems in place, then put together an investment deck. Put together what's your concept, what makes your concept special. Put together the financial statements, and talk to people about it. And when you do have those investors, be transparent, deal with them in integrity, and keep them informed. Don't wait for them to come to you to come and ask questions. Consistently update them on what's going on in the business, even when it's challenging. If they're real partners, share with them what's going on. I think that's very important. And put in place a proper legal structure. If you're looking to get partners, don't put anything on a napkin. Get an attorney. Get an attorney. I am an attorney, and I did not try to set up the legal structure of Dundu when we took up on partners. Find people who have done similar and ask them to recommend attorneys so they can set up proper systems in place. That will benefit you, it will benefit your partners, it will take care of places where intellectual property might be matter to you, and all of those fine details. So, be consistent and detailed in that way, and, make your pitch
Do
to
things the proper way. Get an attorney.
speak to your tax accountant before you set up the structure. If you're in the first world somewhere, you don't want to set up a structure and then you discover afterwards that you've set up a structure that have put you and the partners at a disadvantage. Speak to an attorney. Don't represent yourself. It's not very. I wouldn't do it.
Okay. So we're going to round up. I've been trying to wait for December to type this question. I couldn't find it. So we're going to round up.
Yeah.
Oladile Oyeni promised to visit again for the third time. He must have liked the first 2 times that he's visited. Adeyemi Adewale is saying, do you have an app? This is your next assignment. Dundu app.
We have an app, but you can order on our website. The website takes you. All our lunch can be ordered on our website, and we deliver. And we also do catering. We do corporate catering. We do drop off catering, and we deliver as far as Connecticut to the tri-state area. So, but for lunch, of course, within Manhattan. So check it out.
So you should also work on the app sometimes. So later, at least secure the name Dundu app. So before anybody else steals it. Just so you know, David Olufemi wants you to know that he's rooting for you today. But I'm going to run up on this comment. Arin Akindoyi says it is called Dundun, not Dundu. Hey, wala.
I'm not sure about that, Akin. Or Irene. I'm not sure about that. I think
It is
Dundu. We are Dundu.
Well, there's no end at the end of it where we are from.
Well, thank you, Irene, or Irene. Thank you.
I believe it is Dundu, not Dundu. But thank you so much to everybody that joined us today.
Yeah, thank you.
This has been quite an eye-opening and very educative. This is one of the questions we didn't get to. When do you start expecting returns from your business? Is there a waiting period? I'm pretty sure you work for some time before you start. Do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, it will vary per business and what your model is. That's why you have to be clear on what your returns. So returns could mean the same thing. Like, do you have a margin of profitability yet? You mean, are you profitable or I think let me try and help you. If you understand what your numbers are before you're open, or you start whatever business it is you're starting, there will be some unexpected expenses, of course. But if you're clear on what your margins will be, for you to say you're getting a return, it could mean different things for different people. Do you mean the entire capital you've gotten from the business, you've made it back, or you have a net margin, like a profit margin at the end of every pay period for you? I think that may vary. So it depends. I'm not sure how to answer that. It's very general.
For the last question, DJ Olayemi says Dundun is a talking drum. I don't know, maybe I'm pronouncing it right, but I think I have heard of that before. And Victor Adebayo is asking what service he can offer to the Dundu brand. Is open to partnership. How can anybody contact you beyond? I mean, the Dundu Instagram page is at Dundu Restaurant, right?
At Eat Dundu, EATDUNDU. What service can we offer? I don't know what service you offer. So if there's something you think, a service you think we might need as a business, reach out. And if we do, we'll let you know. If we don't, we'll let you know promptly too. I won't dilly-dally or or waste your time. But I appreciate the question.
So people can DM you on Instagram if they're trying to reach you beyond today, or how can people contact you?
Yeah, you can send a DM on Instagram. We'll try our best to get that should work. And then I would think that would be the best way. And if there's a specific, need or something you would like my thoughts on that is entrepreneurial or food business related, and you can also contact me through Adiola. I'll be happy to share whatever insights I have.
Adiola. I'm ending with this comment. Our Ghanaian brother lives in Pennsylvania. He wants to drive all the way to New York just to taste your
Kofi,
Nigerian
thank
jollof.
you. We can't wait. We'll be waiting for you.
We are ready for the challenge.
We're ready. Thank you.
I've
Kofi.
been to Ghana to eat the Ghanaian jollof rice. I still tell you, Nigerian jollof rice is the best.
Yes, Niger Jollof. Oh.
All
Ghanaian
right.
Jollof is nice, but Niger Jollof. Oh,
I mean, they're trying,
yeah,
Ghanaian
yeah,
jollof.
yeah. We'll
It's
give
all
it to
right.
them. We'll give it
It's
to
all right.
them. But Niger Jollof.
They cheat with Shito. But guys, next Sunday I will be joined by Suji Moto. So I'm really excited about that as well. He's into real estate big time, modern, luxurious buildings in Lagos. And he's going to talk about everything, once again, some of the challenges, how to build wealth, and so on. Today has been wonderful with Folusha Salami, all the way from Dundu restaurants in New York. And once again, their address is 140 East 44th Street, New York, 10017. If you know Nigerian Embassy, it's not far from the Nigerian Embassy. Just Google Dundu. You will find them there. They open at 11 a.m. Monday to Friday until 7 p.m. Thank you so much, my sister, for making
No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate this, and it was fun. Thank you, everyone. And if you're here, you have a dream, go for it. You already have what's in you to be. It's already in you to be everything you want to be. Be disciplined, be consistent, focus on your focus, and trust God.
Focus on your focus. We're going to end with this broadcast or about Dundu restaurant, and I'm pretty sure that people would love the fact that you're representing us. And then I will end the show as soon as it ends. Thank you so much, sis.
Thank you so much, Adiola. I appreciate you.
All right.
What is this? Back, Ben, where are you? Tell us all about it.
Dundu is where we are. Brand new spot, just opened up a couple weeks ago right here on 41st between Lex and 3rd. This is your spot. This is your lunch spot. Nigerian food, authentic Nigerian food. Fulusha, how are you, my love?
Good, you're doing so well with the name now.
Thank you. I was at a B- when I walked in the door, and I'm at a solid maybe A- at this point.
You're to an A- now.
She's
Ben.
filling the line. That's what we call it in the biz. She's filling the
That's
line.
akara.
Can you narrate what we're looking at right now? Because everything is so fresh. I'm watching her cook this up. It's so fresh and so delicious, so much flavor, and so unique and different. If you've not had this before, take us through. Show us.
Okay, so this is jollof rice.
This is something that everybody says their favorite food on planet Earth is
Yes,
this.
jollof rice is amazing. It's a rice pilaf made with chicken stock, pureed bell peppers, and tomatoes.
Hot.
And of course, we make our own chicken stock from scratch.
Oh.
Okay, and of course it has some herbs and spices in
Nice,
it.
nice.
So it's Nigerian jollof, which is the best jollof. This is a herb brown rice.
Cool.
It's brown rice. We have parsley in it, and
Take us through a little faster, because we're not gonna be able to cook anything.
oh,
if you keep it
okay.
this
So
rate,
this is
sister.
honey beans. This is honey beans. It's beans. It's naturally mildly sweet. We just add onion and salt.
Love it.
Peppered grilled chicken.
Pepper, okay, keep going. What's this?
Akara, which is a fluffy bean fritter.
Oh, I
and
love
this,
that.
Yes, and this is our goat stew.
Oh, goat,
This is
that's
our goat
cool.
stew. It's
Okay,
perfect.
okay. Authentic.
Yes,
Nigerian
we
food. I
have,
love this.
and these are our sides. We have sweet plantains. This is moi moi. It has boiled eggs and tilapia in it. Moi moi is a steamed bean cake.
That's what we made in the 8 o'clock hour,
Yes,
right?
that's the one we
Healthy,
made.
delicious, flavorful. Is it moin moin or moi moi? Because there's an N, I'm looking.
It's moi moi.
Moi moi.
But the end kind of just fades away.
It's not moo moo, because
Yeah.
that's something completely different.
No, moo moo
Don't
means like
say dum dum.
Dum dum, yeah. This is eforiro. It has smoked turkey and tripe in it.
Okay.
And we have charred carrots. That's a
Oh.
seasonal vegetable.
My God.
And these are our dressings.
These are homemade dressings? You make all these?
Everything from scratch.
Love
This
it.
is a sweet onion dressing.
Okay.
Goes well with the party bowl, which I'll pick up one for you shortly.
There's a party bowl?
Yes, smoky jalapeno. This is atadili sauce and mango habanero.
Heck yeah. Let's throw things on the grill. Oh, wait, do we have more over here?
Yeah, we want to
Wait.
pick up a bowl and then go to the grill. Would you like that?
Yeah, but you want to make a bowl?
Yeah, let's
Wait,
make a
yeah.
bowl.
And then, Jalil, how you doing? You want to throw some things on the grill? Is that cool?
Yes.
You got some chicken going? Is it this chicken, the same chicken?
Yes.
Heck yeah, man.
We'll
I
show
love
you how
this.
to make the chicken.
Okay, and
So
this is an example. You come in and you get the fresh veggies all here, all the produce.
Yes.
We showed you the giant carrots before. But look at this. This is very important because I go to a lot of salad places and I'm like, yeah, it looks kind of funkadelic.
So this is a good greens. It's a
Okay,
special brand. You have kale, cabbage, carrots, and radicchio in
Okay.
it. It's amazing.
So you can pick your green.
You pick your grain.
Okay.
You pick your greens, I beg your pardon, and then you add your grain, right?
Okay, I gotcha.
So once you have your grain, you pick one of our three proteins.
I love this.
You go with chicken.
You gotta come to the burbs. I would eat this every day.
So you go with chicken.
Yes.
And then you move to your side. We
Right.
have 4 sides. You pick 2. You get 2 with your bowl.
Nice.
So with the party bowl, you get plantains.
I love a party bowl.
Yes.
Very excited about this.
You get plantains and you get 2 moi moi.
Moin moin.
Moi moi.
Just use your fingers. I'm fine. I trust you.
No, the Department of Health
Well,
doesn't want that
that's okay.
bad.
No. She's extremely careful about this. I've been watching her. She's excellent. Let's go
All
back
right,
there.
and then you get the
Oh, this-
dressing.
Okay, dress me. Let's go back. Come on, we're running
All
out
right.
of time. Let's go. Let's do this. Julia's
that's the
getting
party
some
bowl.
plantains. A lot of fried plantains, right?
Okay,
Come
let's
with
go
me.
to the
Come
back.
with me. You're the best. Thank you for lunch. That was
Of
very
course.
nice of you. So we have the moi moi in
This
here.
is the
what
moi
it
moi.
looks
So
like.
once it's ready, what we do is we cover it with aluminum foil,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Are these like parents' recipes? Whose recipes are all these?
These are my recipes, everything
That's
made
nice.
from scratch.
Okay.
The moi moi recipe is quick, my stepmom's recipe.
Oh, that's
Her
nice,
name
yeah.
is Christy. She's amazing,
Is
by
she
the
what?
way.
Is she in New York?
No, my stepmom lives in Nigeria, but she's the very best.
We only broadcast in Nigeria.
Oh.
It's New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Nigeria. That's our broadcast
Okay,
capability.
I'll tell her.
Tell her, just
I'll
shove
tell
it in.
her.
Yeah.
I'll tell her
And
the
then
moi
that
moi
bakes.
recipe. Yeah, it goes in there for
Look at
20
those
minutes,
Look
and
at the
that's
size of
it.
these beautiful
And
plantains.
yes,
Jalil, watch your fingers. I'm very
let's
nervous.
rub some chicken on the
So
grill.
do we talk about what's on the chicken here? By the way,
Oh,
thighs.
that's our peppered grilled chicken. This is boneless chicken thighs.
Yes, thank God for the thighs. We're talking about breast versus thighs. Tony's a big breast guy, loves a breast. We only do thighs. Oh, look at that. I'm gonna get out of the way so you can just watch this. Look at that.
Of course.
Look at this. All these. So you're just doing this all day. And then and you've been open for like 2 weeks. How are things?
Very well. People are starting to know we're open, and the office crowd, they've been great. We have people coming back 2 days a week, 3 days a week.
That's awesome.
People just need to know we're here, I think.
Well, let's tell them right now. You are currently with us at Dundu right here on 41st between 3rd and Lexington. We said it before. Midtown folks. You got husbands, wives, girlfriends, former
Everyone.
roommates, whoever's working in this area, whoever lives in this area. You want something new and fresh and different. This is your spot. Don't worry. He's got it. We got it. Everything's fine, Jalil. You're going to be great. You're going to be great. You're doing awesome. The new spot. Come check it out. The food is in the studio right now, so you guys can verify how fabulous it is. Fresh ingredients, healthy,
Thank you,
and
Jalil.
delicious.
Delicious.
And
It is so good.
Delicious.
that you may not have every day. You like
It's
it?
so good. It's so
Loves it.
so
You're getting
good.
Thumbs up from the anchors right now.
I mean, like
It's got-
18 thumbs up.
Got a kick to it.
It's got a nice little kick to it. I used to
Yeah.
live over there. If I still lived there, I'd be there every single day. I'm gonna go there after work.
Every day. I'd be here all the time. They have
Oh
the
my
kale, so I'm in. I love it. I'm very excited.
I
so
want
I'm gonna take that
Momo
on.
of the moo. What is this?
Moi moi.
Moi
Moi
moi.
moi of the moi moi.
Yeah, the moi moi is good. Felucia,
More-
thank
more-
you.
more- more-
So
more-
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks Felucia. Thanks Jaleel.
OG says thank you. Says she loves you. He goes,
Oh my goodness.
New spot. Come check it out.
You know, right over there?
Come check it out.
It's like it's
Oh my gosh, got a nice little kick.
She has the Heimlich. It's got some kick.
This is
It's got
Doubtfire.
kick.
And I'm breaking my fast because I don't eat till 2 p.m.
Look at you.
And
That's
for
how you know
this,
it's
it
good.
is delicious.
That's how you know it's good when OG breaks her fast. You know.
But it's like it's super spicy. Not super
It
spicy.
is?
For me,
Oh.
I don't eat too spicy, but this is so good. Now that I know that it's there,
delicious.
so easy to stop by on my way
Mm-hmm.
home.
Well, thank you
love
for
it.
introducing us to that, Ben. OG, thank you
So
for
good.
not
I'm going to
bringing
give
food
Byron
back.
something. Byron, where are you?
Byron, seriously?
Open
so
up,
good.
Byron.
Yeah, we'll
You
get
know,
you some.
I can smell it from here.
Come on over.
It's so good.
Yeah, I told Joe, to go on and get some. So Joe's gonna go over here in a second, bring us back some. That looks great. Your temperatures look great.
You fed Oyibo pepper. You see the woman sneezing and everything. And then roll off. That was so nice, so beautiful. Thank you so much once again for joining us. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you very much.
We're so proud of you. So proud.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Thank you.